Hey, what's up everyone? This is Alex, and yesterday we had a live stream which I recorded where I tested this new library from Audio Imperia for the first time and gave my, first look thoughts and the review. The library is called Cerberus, Epic and Cinematic Drums, and I want to start with this video with a short summary because the recording of the live stream, which you're gonna see in the second part of this video, is 1 hour long. So let's start with my thoughts. So basically, this library I think is one of my absolute favorite percussive libraries. And it's my favorite Audio Imperia library. It comes with this thing. So you have big percussion ensembles, like for orchestral music, sort of like big orchestral percussion. You have a drum kit. You also have percussive loops and sound design, like trailer sound design. Now, the cool thing about all of this is that other than the fact that so for the percussive patch, you have 7 microphones, for example. You have loads of like effects. So you have this big knob that leads you to create some interesting stuff. So this library is made in a way where you can take the raw material and use it as it is. It comes with, organic patches and processed patches. So you can both have that organic percussive sound, but also like hybrid, hard-hitting sound. And you also have this, big knob here where you can just assign effects to it and just process your percussion in interesting ways. The loops section is also great because you don't only get the wave file, you get layered wave file. So you have a loop, you have the high layer, mid layer, low layer, and you also have the MIDI data of these loops available. These loops are made with the sounds from this library, and they sound incredible. And the fact that they're layered, like you can check out each single layer and you can check out the MIDI data, is a great thing because it allows you, if you don't know how to write good percussion, you can check those out and analyze those and learn. Or you can take those and tweak those very easily. So it's a great library because of the sound. Like if you're advanced at writing percussion, you can use this as a layer or use it as the main percussion library for your songs. It's going to sound amazing. And if you're a beginner, it's amazing because it sounds great, but it also gives you lots of help with these loops and MIDI data. The third thing is the drum kit, which I might have stated before. Basically, drum kit, it follows the same principle as the percussion kits, where you have 7 microphones. You have the normal version of the drum kits and the processed version, which would work, in my opinion, for like both trailer music and orchestral music, but also for like industrial rock and stuff like electronic rock works so nicely. And then you have the sound design patches, which featured like trailer sort of effects, like a bit of trailer hits, a few drones and stuff like that. Quite a few drones actually, and atmospheric sounds. And the cool thing is that all the patches, they feature so many effects, and so they give you so much freedom to tweak stuff that you can create new sounds out of anything. So this is a percussive patch, but you can do so much more with it. Because of the trailer samples, as you're gonna see in the live stream, in the footage of the live stream, you, for example, can take a drone sample and you can make it into a riser. I did that in the live stream and I was blown away by it. And so you have big percussion ensemble, drum kit, sound design, and loops. And all of this comes at a cost of $250 now, which is on sale. Otherwise, like $299. And I think even at the full price, this library is so much worthwhile, both for beginners and for advanced people alike, because it offers you so much. It's like Jaeger, but for percussion, and it's really amazing. But anyway, if you want to learn more, then check out the footage of the live stream from yesterday, which is gonna start now. Okay, so Audio Imperia just came out with this new library, which I think is like, I haven't touched it yet, but I think it's like the spiritual successor to Decimator drums, but it's so much better. So basically it's called Cerberus, and it's a library that was made by recording 3 amazing drummers. That's why they call it Cerberus, like a infernal dog with 3 heads. And let's open a patch. I'm gonna just open the first one. So what we have is actually I'm gonna go over what we have in this library. We have an ensemble drum section, which with a few ensemble drum patches. Then we have some loops, which are done with this same source material. A drum kit patch. Some are processed, some are not. And then we have a sound design patches collection with hits and atmospheric effects and SFX. That's interesting. So we're going to go over all of them and see how they are. Take second. You're welcome. And let's just start and open the first patch. And thank you everyone for joining. And I'm sorry if I might say something stupid. I'm kind of tired today. But so this is how the library presents itself, which from the graphical user interface, I love when things look nice, but also to the point where they you understand when PerCs are, So there are some libraries that have this crazy graphical user interface, but you have no idea where is what. Here it looks very clear. So basically, okay, we can even close this. So let's see what we have. In this ensemble, we have some grand cassa and toms and snares, etc. So these red notes, they are from the grand cassa. And each one corresponds to a different sort of articulation. I'm not sure why the roll is not playing. Oh, it's because it's linked to the dynamic. Yeah. So that's very good. You can do your own rolls if you use the dynamics and articulation. Very smart. You also have crescendos. 1 second, 2 seconds, or longer one if you want. This is great material, and I always say in my tutorial, you should use transitory sounds like crescendos and stuff. So yeah, this library seems to be packed with those. Then we have kicks, which sound freaking massive. The tom, and this is out of the box, by the way. So if we process it with the effects, I think it's gonna sound even better. High toms, mid toms, snares, and these are like sticks, like clacks and clicks. I really like the sound. So we have 7 different microphones, which is insane. On all these sounds, it's wow. Okay, so guys, sorry if I don't it's hard to read and do the things at the same time. So if I'm ignoring the chat, don't worry, I'm gonna read the comments later. But yeah, so it's I remember Audio Imperia's first library was Scenes from the Multiverse, and it was just a sample library, which I still use to this day because it's amazing. But it was just an audio sample library with trailer sound effects, which is somewhere here. Brain fart now. Audio Imperia, Scenes from the Multiverse. This sort of thing, and I still use it to this day. It has quite amazing samples. But the thing is that these were only audio samples made, from Gemini. But when you create an orchestral library, that goes through a whole different process of sampling instruments. So what I'm trying to say is that Audio Imperia really made a huge leap from where they started from, and I'm seeing them releasing more and more ambitious projects and ambitious libraries to very affordable prices. Like this one right now is $250 on sale. It's gonna be $300 as a normal price, but I think it's promising, and I really like what they're doing. So it's really inspiring to see their work, to see what they do. And yeah, so let's continue in our journey through this library. So we have the mixer controls here, and these controllers dynamic range. So if I increase this, not sure what it does. I should, it's gonna be written in the manual for sure. I checked the manual, but I did it very fast because I had to go live here. But yeah, you have these 4 controls. You also have sample start control. Can go even negative. That's good. And then you have the options here. This is a thing I love. I read it in the manual. I was like, thank you for doing this. There is a low CPU function that pretty much. So one thing that really kills your CPU when you're using Kontakt is short sounds, and especially if you're using short strings on percussion, you tend to write a lot of notes. That is a lot of voices in terms of how many samples are being triggered from your hard drive or from your RAM, and that it's a lot of CPU when you have so many voices at the same time. So if you do a pam 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 pam, that's a lot of notes, which means a lot of voices. This low CPU function, I think it acts in a way where it kills the old voices in such a way that your CPU doesn't have to process so many voices. That means you might some of the tails from the previous percussion hits might die, but it might not be that noticeable, and it will be noticeable in terms of how much CPU it saves you. So this is very great, and it's something you can do yourself by reducing the voices here. So here it's set to 1000. If it's set to 100, it's just gonna keep 100 voices and delete the old ones. But it's good that they have this feature even here, in the software. I wish more people did that. So Audio Imperia really thinks about the composers. But yeah. No, it's they sent me. So someone asked if this is sponsored. They sent me the library, but I would have bought it, I think, anyway. Because I am a huge percussion, I'm a huge percussion freak, as you might know, and this library looked very interesting. So you also have a stack function. I guess this has to do with the round robins, I think. So there is a stereoize. That's pretty good. You can make them sound a bit more stereo, a bit more mono if you want. And then this randomize. I'm not sure at this point if it randomizes like the stack of samples, like the round robins, or if it randomizes the rhythm. Maybe Audio Imperia can tell us. What does the randomize do? Allows it to increase ensemble sizes by taking sample. Yeah. Okay. Okay, awesome. So this was the loose version of this ensemble drums. There's also a tight one. So let's try to open the tight one. And my nightmare, my nightmare with FL Studio is that maybe while I'm streaming, maybe I open up a patch and it crashes. And this is not because of the library. This is something that FL Studio likes to do sometimes with Kontakt. When I open patches, there's always like a 2% risk that everything crashes. And if that were to happen on Twitch, it would be freaking horrible. Especially now that there's Audio Imperia in the chat and everything. So FL Studio, please behave. But yeah, so this is the tight one. Okay, I think it sounds, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does sound tighter compared to the first one. I should put the randomization to 50%. But yeah, this is very good. So I guess like this is because in some genres of music, you might want your percussion to be a bit more loose, a bit more randomized. So in that case, you can use the loose one. But if you're writing like trailer music, sound design trailer music, you need to be very mathematical precise. Then you might not want to do sort of loose percussion, etc. Because you want your rhythms to be like precise. You can use the tight ones. That's very good. I don't see many percussion libraries doing that. It's usually something that we composers have to do manually. Or, sometimes you get percussion libraries that only have a tight sort of sound, or some libraries that have only a loose sort of sound. And this has both. And it allows you to choose. And that's well done. So I think like there was lots of thought, into the process of creating this library from Audio Imperia's part. Anyway, before I made a fool of myself, I was showing you guys the big knob here. So this is something you see in every Audio Imperia library. And it can be linked to any of these effects. I use it sometimes in Jaeger, but not enough like to wrap my head around it so much. But from my intuition, now it's linked to the lo-fi. So if I like do this, sorry, I'm playing the wrong note. Yeah, we get lo-fi percussion, which reminds me tremendously of Tron Legacy, that sort of sound. But let's see if I can link it to other things. So let's try to link it to distortion. Yeah. So how do I link the thing? Because I think like distortion is acting independently from the big knob. So let's see if there's a way in which I can link this. Sure, there is a way. I forgot already. Maybe Audio Imperia can help us here. But yeah, mapping drive. Maybe this. Probably. Yeah, found it. So that was the one, I think. Mapping drive. So you go there, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way you link your things to the big knob. Let's try to add as many things as possible. So I'm gonna add this, and then I'm gonna add lo-fi, and then I'm gonna add don't know, a bit of a phaser, but I'm gonna reduce the effect of it. So okay, so I got it. I'm stupid. So what this means? Like I'm here, I'm in the distortion module. I'm mapping the drive parameter of the distortion to my big knob, and here I can decide how much to map it. So if I only want to, I only want the big knob to bring my distortion to 20% max in terms of drive, in terms of that parameter. I'm gonna go here, put this to 20%. So when I move the big knob, it's gonna move from 0 to 20%. So that's a nice way, it's just modulation, but done in a way that allows you to have control. And it's just like a synthesizer. It's something like we have in the Serum and stuff like that. But it's in a Kontakt library. And again, this is something I don't see done that often in percussion libraries. So I think they're thinking a bit avant-garde here, making you, giving you freedom to process your percussion just like you want to, which is good. I see this working in trailer music. Personally, though, I would probably use this library without too much processing. But the fact that you have the freedom to do that is, it's a nice selling point. It's just an added value to the thing. And it's present in Jaeger as well. I do use that feature in Jaeger way more because I like to use, since Jaeger has a very dry sound and it has tonal orchestral sounds, I like to use that to create, for example, drones out of strings. You can do that all internally from Jaeger, or Brahms out of trombones. Okay, you have a step modulator here, and even effects and inserts and sends and stuff. These are things that I prefer to do outside usually, but the fact that you can do it from here is good. And yeah, let's see this step modulator. I never use these things, so I guess this is just for volume. So maybe if we pick a faster one, like this one. Yeah, you can change the frequency here, the intensity, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, I personally don't really love to use the step modulators, but you can do step modulations in volume and panning. It seems like it. Low pass filter, high pass filter. So this is sort of like in Jaeger. I think this interface kind of reminds me of Jaeger, but it applies to percussion. Anyway, let's now check out the processed version of the tight patch. But yeah, I'm gonna read a few comments here, so I can read in the chat if I'm being a dumbass again or not. Thank you, Supremo Edu, for your promise of watching all my videos. But yeah, so this process patch has only 3 mic positions instead. Holy crap. Man, what the hell? Wow, okay. So I was very impressed by the library before, but this is just bananas. And this is pure aggression. I mean, this sounds freaking massive. So that's the process version. And even here, you can do the same thing with effects, etc. You only have 30 mic positions, but those are enough, in my opinion. This sounds massive as hell. And yeah. One thing I recommend is to do purge, the purge function. Because I see nothing. So you can go here actually and remove the instruments. That's what they gave you the freedom to remove the instruments. So if I, for example, only want to use the kick, I can only activate the kick here. And yeah, I also have a few other instruments here. I can remove them all and only activate the kick. And it went from 1 GB of RAM usage to 100. Because I'm only triggering the samples from the kick. So that's very good. You can even do this, and then you save this, you save this patch as Ensemble kick or something like that. Which I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, the process ones, oh my god. they sounded amazing. And what is this hit only patch set? I guess it doesn't have roles. Yeah. Okay, so you can even mute articulations here. So you can either mute your instruments or you can mute the articulations. And in both cases, it's gonna remove the samples from the patch, which means it's gonna save you some RAM, which can be used for something else. So that's very good. Very, well thought, well put. And that was just one module out of the whole library. Surely there are things in here which I haven't seen, like I haven't checked. But from this first view of this first module, that seemed nice. Now let's check out the loops. Actually, let's check out the loops. I'm gonna check out the tight loops. So you have 90, like these loops are 90 BPM. I guess they're gonna adapt to your project tempo, but there's naturally they are 90 BPM and 120 BPM. There are collection of loops in 3/4 in terms of like time signature, and there's one in 4/4. So let's start from the 3/4 and a template for my workflow. That's my empty template. JRAD, the bed. This is my empty template. I sometimes use the empty one. Other times I will start with a full orchestral template already loaded. But yeah, this is the loops patch. Let's hear a few loops. Okay, wait, maybe it's best if I lower the volume in this case. Okay. So what they did here is they took all the drums you just heard are from this same library. So I guess you can recreate this loop if you're really good. Is there a way to export this? Wait, is this like reverse? What does that arrow do? I don't know. But yeah, I wonder if is there a way to export this to MIDI? MIDI loops are included. That's great. So what they did is they even made the job easy for those of us who are not like very great at writing loops or writing percussion parts. That's very good. Like, there's nothing wrong, guys, with using loops. That's where it all starts from, What ideally you would want to do is, if you don't know how to write percussion, you start from loops. And then maybe you try to figure out the same loops, try to rewrite the same loops. And I think Audio Imperia in this case, they provide, so this library is a percussive library, but it's also provided with loops and samples. And there's a folder with those, with the audio versions of those. So I think, yeah, you have the audio versions of those. And the cool thing is that those audio versions are like layered and stacked. So there's a full mix, which is like the normal loop, which sounds freaking amazing, by the way. This is a great percussion. But you also have the different stems. So what you can do is you can dissect it. Like, you have the 3 layers. And you can listen to this. And then this. And the high one. So that really gives you an insight on how they made this. So that's good. You can, analyze them all and really try to recreate them with the same library. Since they use this library to create these loops, you can try to, train on recreating this. And yeah, that's a great way to learn how to write percussion, actually, So I personally, you hear my percussion in my tracks, very crazy and everything. But I started from, loop-based percussion libraries, and then I try to understand how those loops were made, and then what I did is wrote a crap ton of percussion riffs in a week. I remember I took a week off from composing music just to compose percussion loops day in and day out for a week, and that led me to understand percussion. But if you have this library, you can help yourself with all these loops that they gave us here, and then you also have the MIDI, so that's good. Anyway, this is the patch for loops. Even here you have the big knob, so we can do the same thing where we do the effects and we link this to stuff while our loop is going. That's another cool thing. If you want to use loops in a way where they are a bit less predictable, a bit more unique, you can tweak your effects, and you can even link this to a MIDI CC. By the way, if I go here, I'm gonna link this to maybe this, and I'm gonna rename it Big Knob. Now this is linked to my MIDI CC, and that means I can even draw my automation curves and automations instead of a studio. So that's very good. You have lots of freedom with this. You have like filters here and EQs. Stereo spread again, attack, release, pitch. You can change the pitch of the loop as it goes, I guess. So let's... Okay, you can... That could create some interesting effects, and you have panning here. Now, I think in this case, the step modulator might be interesting. Yeah, you can do some cool things with it. You can even activate more than one if you want. But yeah, the point is you can be creative with these loops. But let's check a few of them. Oh, so the red notes are the full one and the blue notes are like the different layers. Man, these are great loops. And again, this is just the 3/4 version. There is also a 4/4 loops kind of patch here at 90 BPM. Yeah, that's 4/4. Let's try the 120 BPM loops at 4/4, if that's the way you say it in English. But they sound pretty impressive to me. What do you think, guys? Or what do you think about these loops? It reverses the playback. You have to grab the radio on top of that and slide it to where you want to. Oh, that's what the arrow did. Yeah, I totally see value in it. I think this for $250 is a great catch, you know? And so here's one thing about sample library developers is that for some reason they tend to fixate on string libraries a lot. While, for example, we don't have lots of hybrid percussion libraries. And this is a great one to have. So finally, a developer came out with a decent percussion library. And I would jump on that bandwagon and use it now before everyone starts to use these loops. So I guess if you get it now and you use these loops now, even if they're raw form, the random listeners are gonna be like, "Oh my god, this drum sounds so..." Like they will not have heard these drums so much that they got tired of it. You know, the loops, I mean, the raw loops. So if you got it now, you can use these raw loops and people are going to be blown away by it. Maybe in 2 years, these loops will be so overused that people are going to be a bit like, "Oh, that's that loop again." But even in that case, you can still play, so you have all the freedom here to play with them. And you can also do resampling where you take the loop here and then you cut it and you build like new loops by glitching it out a little bit. So there's loops never get old, in my opinion. You just need to learn how to use them. But if you want to use them in the cheap way, where you just press one note and you keep it as it is, you can do it. And if you do it now, it's gonna be like people are gonna be blown away pretty much. So yeah, I think it's a great catch for many reasons. But yeah, let's check out these ones here. Oops, that was okay. I think this is stretching to 90 BPM, so let's do 120. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of impressed here. This one is freaking awesome. This is great. Man, I can feel the African in me coming out right now. It's great. Great stuff. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the loop so much, but they can be great. You know, they can be a good place for inspiration. If you don't know where to start for your track, you can just start from one loop and then yeah. So I think this library is great for beginners. because it offers you so much MIDI loops and everything. It has a great sound. And it can also be great for advanced people, advanced composers who just want, a newer sound in their percussion. And because, again, this is like both like sort of like organic loose percussion and also very precise and hard hitting. So I think it's a very interesting library. Here's the MIDI files. That's very good. I guess, yeah, they're not visible from here, but I need to go in my Windows folder and just drag them into FL Studio. Let's check out the drum kit. But yeah, what are your thoughts so far, guys? I'm kind of like very pleased with this one. I think this is like Jaeger. I love the Jaeger, but I think this is impressing me a bit more. Maybe it's because I'm a percussion freak. I really love my percussion. But yeah, it'd be awesome if they allow to export MIDI versions of each of those loops along this speak as well. You can. The MIDI versions are included. So I think, yeah, so far it's freaking great. Let's check the drum kits, and even the drum kits have a processed and normal version. Man. Okay, so the normal version has 7 microphones as usual. Okay, so these are like normal drums. Oh, you have a velocity curve here. Very good. Okay, so here almost every part of the drums has different articulations here. Love the snares. Wow, so the open head kind of stays like that, and when you release it, it does like the noise where the head's closed. That's very realistic. Okay, so I guess that was. Are there any more? No. So that was the normal drum kit. And again, you have all the different mics here. Wait. Okay. I wonder what this TC, TD, and BC are, and MS. Yeah, it's written in the manual though. But yeah, there's also, you can also pan them a bit individually, seems like. And you can also route them individually. So I could, this is awesome. I could route the different, microphones to different mixer tracks, just like it's really done when people record real live drums. That's very good. But yeah, top condenser, top dynamic, bottom condenser. Yeah. Okay, so wow, that's very detailed. And yeah, DPTV Audio Imperia is great. I use their libraries quite a bit. Not all of them, but the ones I have, I really use them a lot. So my favorites are now Cerberus, top favorite, Jaeger, Scenes from the Multiverse, Volume 1, and Shredder. Like if you heard my track Codename Highwind on YouTube, that's heavily like it has lots of like Shredder in it, like interesting pulses and stuff like that. But there's even more libraries at their websites. But the ones I mentioned are the ones I own, and they are just crazy. I love them. Let's check out the processed drum kit. I'm kind of afraid now. This is gonna like blow me away. But it's a drum kit. It cannot be much more powerful than an ensemble. Okay. Oh my god, I love these process rolls. Yeah. Okay. His snare is crazy. So I think this would be great. So let me check out the frequency spectrum of this snare here. Oh, the snare. Where is it? I lost it. Yeah. I think if you layer this one with a trader hit, maybe you need to reduce a bit of the reverb here. yeah, if you layer this sound with a trader hit, it will bring so much punch to the trader hit. So I guess I'm gonna use this for layering, and also for the rolls that are amazing. I just love this open hat. This hit, I think, will work for EDM music. So I guess like this process drum kit, I would probably use it if I were to write something like electronic rock, like the Bloody Beetroots. I don't know if you know that guy is a crazy electronic rock producer. This would work so much, like it's sort of like aggressive drum kit. That would work very nicely with like big ass guitars and bass. It would still, stand out. So for that genre too, I guess this is not only for cinematic music, but it will also work in like heavy electronic rock or industrial rock and stuff like that. So I like the fact that it's very, very, very like versatile and aggressive. That's good. Probably I wouldn't use it for like quiet, sort of like percussion. I think if the Jeremy Soul track I made the other time, probably I wouldn't use this library for that. But for aggressive stuff, cinematic, epic, even like uplifting, adventurous, but something that needs like big percussion, this is awesome. So yeah, let's check out the last compartment, which is like the sound design, which comes with tonal hits, atonal sound effects, tonal atmospheric effects, and atonal atmospheric effects. But yeah, let's see a few of your comments on the chat here. Do the Rick roll. How do I do the Rick roll? And I want to make it so much because your videos. Oh, you're working for Trader Music Company in Xenon. That's awesome. That's good job for you, man. I'm glad this video helped you. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm having a good impact on the world with the videos. That's a big part of why I do what I do. But anyway, let's go over the sound design hits now. So there's another thing I love about these guys at Audio Imperia, especially with Jaeger and Cerberus. They create this library. So Cerberus is like an orchestral library and Jaeger is a percussion library. You wouldn't expect to find like trader effects and like samples like this in these libraries, but they still put them there. It's like an extra. That's very good. So they go out of their way to really like bring value to us composers. And that's something that you don't see that often. I'm not saying that sample library developers are bad people. They're freaking amazing people, But it seems like Audio Imperia, like, I really like them because they really go out of their way to just give more value. That's very good. So I guess with this toolkit here, they were trying to create something that would allow you to even write a full-on, like, trailer percussion track. Like, full-on trailer percussion tracks, only using percussion and a bit of effects here. Maybe you'd need to accompany this with a library that has a few risers. So if you bought this and Audio Imperia scenes from the multiverse, you'd be good to write percussive trailer music, for example. And that's like it would cost you around, if you buy this, $250, and the other library, Audio Imperia scenes from the multiverse, I think it's $57. It's like $300, and you can write full-on trailer music for labels. So I mean that's very good. So a few of these sounds are very great. A few others, maybe I wouldn't use them so much, but there are a few that are quite interesting. So Audio Imperia like said something about this arrow that I need to drag it, but I cannot seem to drag it. I will read the manual to figure out what this arrow does later, but it does something. So even here, you can still link this to the big knob. You can do the stereo spread, so fuck me. So for example, if I wanted to create a pad, I guess I could take one of these sounds and just put some, big old Palala shimmer set to dark, lots of reverb, maybe reduce a bit of the high end here, and more reverb. Yeah. So you can even create pads with this if you add crap load of reverb. So yeah, I think the only thing missing is risers. Maybe. I'm not saying risers here, but if it even had risers, it would have been like, what the hell? It's already what the hell, but with risers, it would have been like, you know, the ultimate percussive pack. So this, what are these keys here? Not sure what these ones do. Maybe they trigger some effects. It's written in the manual again, but I just gave it a fast look. But yeah, those are the tonal hits. There's also tonal hits, tonal mapping. So I guess this patch allows you to, you know, use the hits in a way where you can link them to different notes or something. Oh yeah. So that's good. So, and I can change the sample with this one, I think. Probably. No? So maybe there's some pitch switches somewhere? So let's see. Oh, you changed them from here. I'm stupid. Okay, so you can also use, read the comments. What was, sorry. Okay, so. The thing is like runs, and do I make feedback again? I will make feedback someday. Click on the arrow to set playback to reverse, and then grab the little arrow in the top left of the wave from the wave. Oh! Wait, so this one, and... Oh, wow! Man. This is great. This is great. Yeah. For me to just say banana. Yeah, sorry guys. You should try live streaming. Like it's a very crazy feeling where you, especially if you don't have a double screen, because I'm reading from here sometimes. So yeah, I need to get another screen just for live streams. But yeah, I'm also blown away by the library. But yeah, let's proceed to the atonal sound effects. But guys, I'm sold. Basically, I'm gonna use this quite a bit. I already like Decimator drums, so this is even better than the Decimator drums. Dude, what is this? What the hell is this? Like, this is awesome. Guys, what the? Yeah, its West Composer Cloud is amazing, but it doesn't give you this sort of sounds. But it's awesome. Like, I highly recommend it to especially people who are just beginning. I love these samples here, by the way. Okay, let's see how this riser goes. That's very good sound design. So what I recommend is to just, then if you buy this library, you're gonna have all the folders with the samples. The samples from the sound design patches are wave files. So what I recommend is to just grab those, put them in some other folder, and just save them. I save them and rename them like this, so I can just drag them from here and. And yeah, I was about to say before I was, I was about to say you can drag them with the wave files, and then you can just, do whatever the hell you want with the wave. That's how I prefer to operate when it comes to like sounds like hits and samples and sound design, etc. I don't like the idea of pressing one note and holding it forever, but I like to see it, the audio file, and then I tweak it just how I need it to be. But yeah. Man. This sounds like out of a Transformers movie. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's check out a few of the tonal atmosphere examples. Okay, that was a bit unpleasant. Do you hear? I guess they're all like this sort of like screechy. Yeah. Let's try to add some reverb on it again. We're gonna die because it's like screechy as hell. Oh, sorry, I need to link this to the right mixer insert here. Which one is it? 2. What if I lower this like hell? And also maybe in the patch I can play with their like, yeah, those are tonal samples. So it's probably best to play them from the patch here. So I can change the note. So tonal atmos. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh my god, did FL Studio just crash here? Let's wait a couple seconds. Yeah, probably a pitch shift. Or probably it's just a... No, it's just... Wait. Oh yeah. So that's why it was unpleasant. There was a pitch shift that FL Studio put there for us for no reason. But yeah, let's see from the patch itself. Probably more reliable. Okay. Right. Well played. Well played, Audio Imperia. Well played. So you have this massive, like, sort of like elephants in the distance, like, that's a crazy drone. And you can go up. And now it's not like crazy elephants in the distance, it's more like alien ships invading you. What does the lowest note sound like? Sounds like a alien ships, but these are like massive, you know, like sort of like Infinity War kind of aliens and stuff. Yeah. That sort of thing. We can even reverse this. Now I know how to reverse stuff, so let's maybe give it a shot. It was this arrow. Okay. So another cool thing we can do is to like play with the pitch. Or we could link the big knob to distortion. Let me do something cool here. I'm gonna link the big knob to the distortion. 45% maximum. Gonna link this to our parameter here. And then I'm gonna link this to the same parameter. And then I'm gonna try to, My friends, we just created what could easily have been a riser or something like it. So if we layer this with something else, I think we can create interesting risers. Maybe if I play from higher notes and do the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, that can be arranged. We can make this a riser. Works nicely if it goes in reverse. So yeah, Audio Imperia cheat sheet. Take one of these tonal atmos samples, reverse it with our friends, like our arrows here. Link your big knob to your drive in the distortion module. Link your pitch to to the same MIDI parameter here as you link to big knob, and then just press a high note and increase it. And you have sort of like a riser that sounds like, alien babies screaming and crying in space or something like that. Okay, let's read a few of the comments. Yeah, you should call a patch like that in my honor. The backward mode be automated. The arrow position. Let's check it out. You can automate the arrow position. Seems like, yeah, you can. So I guess you can even move this as you play the sample. It leads you to like crazy resampling possibilities. How long do you spend on writing a new track? Too much time, DP. Too much time. Well, sometimes, usually on average, it's like 40 or 50 hours for a track. If I'm writing a track that really challenges me, like when I wrote The Landing, I can go up to 100 hours, or in two cases, I went up to 200 hours. But usually it's like 40 or 50 hours. Oh, hey, Foster. You're always here when I pull these crazy like metaphors. You should take note of them all, so then you can write my book as my prophet. When I pass away, you're gonna share all my metaphors with the people who come after me. But yeah, so I think, are there more patches that we need to check out? The Atonal Atmosphere here, and then I think we're gonna wrap up. Let's check out the Atonal Atmosphere. I guess it's the same concept as the things we just checked now, but it's atonal. So it's gonna be like weird sounds, even like weirder babies screaming in the distance, probably. So this is something that will work underneath a track, just to create ambience. Like if you have like a ethnic singer singing on top of this, like and those sort of things, with maybe women voice, not my voice, and then you put this behind that, it's just gonna create this massive feeling of vastness. So yeah, this would also work in, I don't know, horror context, something like that, I think. Yeah. If you put anything there, it's gonna sound like horror. And again, we can do our crazy things with our knob here, which is not linked anymore. Let me actually try it. So I'm gonna link this, and okay, so if you move this while it's playing, of course it's gonna stick to the position it started from, so ideally you should have to retrigger the note every single time. And I think we still have our reverb on, by the way, so that's also why it sounded like that. This is without reverb, kind of. Still pretty impressive. What? What did that sound like to you guys? Like, what kind of creature could have this been? No, it was this. It's like, I don't know, something like some creature in a sort of alien. Yeah, alien. I was thinking of like alien deserts. Like a huge mosquito. Like if it's during the summer in the desert, like these freaking mechanic mosquitoes coming in, and you hear them, they sound like this. Hear that sound, you better run for your life. They're gonna suck all of your blood out of you. A pregnant alien. Damn, I wouldn't want to meet one, yeah. So, is there a way to export Kontakt piano roll as a sample? If you mean like export audio, in this case the audio is already is already it's already provided to you. So you don't need that. It's in the folder, in the samples folder. You have the sound design folder with all the audio. So you don't need that. But there's a way to do it, you know. You can, when you save the patch, you can choose to save all the samples with this function. Like not all libraries will allow you to do that. Some do, some don't. You go here and you save your patch, but you select patch plus samples. You remove the tick from compressed samples and you save the patch. It's going to save your patch and it's going to export all the audio samples in it if you need that. But again, you cannot do it every time. And of course, if you do that, you cannot share those samples anywhere because that will be like copyright infringement, but you can use them for yourself. Okay, let's read a few of the comments. I love these guys' metaphors. Thank you. I think like my real talent is not to make music, it's actually to make metaphors. I really believe that. It's tempting to buy, it's much more than loops then. Of course it's much more than loops. All these then libraries in full version of Kontakt and I don't. That's a problem. And it's so hard to add details. I know you made a tutorial. There's so much stuff you said that was like, how much? So DP, try, when you watch my tutorials, try to not, my tutorials are packed with advice because I like to make tutorials that have so much replay value that you can watch them 5 times over and still learn something new. That's the ideal goal for me because that's the way I like to be taught things. But you shouldn't try to internalize all the things at the same time, you know? Try to take away 1 or 2 points from my tutorial and try them right away in your track, in a track or something. And then after you did that, come back to the tutorial and take away other 2 points and you try that as well. You know, try to always, all the things you learn from tutorials, courses, etc., try to bite-size the information chunks and process them right away by practicing them right away. And once you learn them by practicing, then you can try to learn something new and do the same thing over and over. It's wrong to watch 50 tutorials without writing a single track and then try to incorporate all the tips from 50 tutorials into one track. That's never going to work. So try to bite-size the information. And this is true for you, DP, as much as it's true for anyone else, and for me as well. I do the same thing. Okay, and yeah. Decimator drums is great, but I think this is even better, Aaron. So, but you know, it's you choose if you need it or not. But I really think this is great. But yeah, anyway, yeah, J-Rad the Bad, I know that's a thing. Binge watching is a thing. It's like mental masturbation though. You know, you feel like, oh yeah, I'm learning. But you're learning, you're putting so many things in your head that it's going to be impossible to really apply them all in one bit. It's not going to work that way. So yeah, guys, I think that is all for this library, actually. We just checked out pretty much all the patches. Again, Imperia Cerberus is on sale, $250 right now at Imperia's website. Otherwise, the normal price is $299. And in both cases, I think it's a very good price. But of course, you can get it cheaper now. So maybe now is a good time to get it. I think it's very interesting for people who write further music, people who need big percussion in their music, people who do not know how to write good percussion parts because it comes with layered loops, which also have MIDI. So you can really learn how to write percussion by checking out the work that they did here. And the library is also great for organic percussion and also processed, because the processed percussion is crazy. And again, it comes with loose and tight samples and the big knob and effects and all those things. So it's very furnished and it gives you loads of freedom to do things. As you saw, we created mechanical mosquito sounds and babies crying in the distance by only adding reverb with a percussive library. So that's very impressive. I think it's a very nice catch. And yeah, it's been a while ever since I've seen a library, a percussion library that blew me away like that. So yeah, I highly recommend this. But see it for yourself if you need it or not. As usual, check out the music you write, reflect on if you need this sort of percussion, and if you do, I would buy it. If you just write relaxing music, piano music, soothing like the voice of an angel, maybe you might not want to have big ass percussion and mechanical mosquitoes in your tracks. But if you write music that sounds powerful and you want even more power, you want to go full on to the dark side and become the Sith of percussion, then I think Cerberus it's gonna take you there very fast. So that's all for this review, sort of. And I hope you had a great time. I surely did. And yeah, that library is gonna be live on Audio Imperia's website. It's already on sale. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this now and upload it on YouTube. And this will be it for this live stream. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one, or on my channel with the tutorials. Okay, bye bye.